Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jake at That Fit Friend, and today we're going to be doing a first impressions, or I guess like a little mini review of the NOBULL Rec Trainer. So generally on my channel, I'll do first impressions and full reviews. This Rec Trainer is actually going to be, I think, the first model where I just do like a kind of a quick overview of the shoe, but I have no intention to build out a full video review on this model because truthfully, like they've been that bad low key that I just don't even feel like wasting my time filming and editing a full review video. I have a written review on these shoes, but again, like to do a full review, I think is a little egregious. And so that said, if you have invested in the NOBULL Rec Trainer and you love them and you like them and they're working really well, I would suggest passing on this video because I have a lot of strong opinions on this shoe and I don't want my opinions to feel like they're like attacking your investment or make you feel like you made a bad choice regarding your footwear selection. But that said, 5 first impressions or thoughts on the NOBULL Rec Trainer is number 1, out of all the NOBULL shoes to date regarding their training shoes, I think this is the worst model to date by a pretty substantial long shot. So this model is designed to be kind of like this versatile like daily wear / training shoe. Now I get that in theory with the upper construction, but outside of the upper tweak, like I really think that's the only thing going for this shoe regarding that functionality, because in the gym, this shoe is pretty dang subpar. Like, will they work for casual lifting and casual cross training? Sure, to an extent, but even then, these have not been my favorite, and that's for 3 key reasons. So 3 reasons why I don't like the shoe for performance in the gym at all is number 1, they are incredibly narrow. So this shoe has a super tapered toe box, and that's really ironic because in the PR email I got about these shoes, they talk about having a wider toe box. That is not the case. Like my feet are screaming in this model, and like I don't have the widest feet in the game. I have a medium to slightly wider foot width, so anywhere from a D to an E foot width depending on the company, and this shoe is just way too snug. Even when barefoot, this shoe is really wicked uncomfortable. And so on top of the narrow toe box, you also have this super low profile upper, and it just feels very limiting. The second reason why I don't love this model for performance reasons is this foam outsole. So this foam outsole is okay regarding keeping the weight of this shoe light, giving it a little more of a flexible feel. But outside of that, this outsole honestly kind of stinks. It doesn't have the best grip. It feels like it's not as durable, especially on concrete. Like mine's already scuffing and I haven't worn these for that many sessions and that many days out and about. So the outsole is a miss on this model. And then lastly, just the upper construction. I briefly touched on this in point 1, but it is just so low profile that it just does not feel comfortable at all, especially in the context of giving you performance in the gym. So this would not be my shoe for multi-directional work or doing anything explosive because honestly, the upper just kind of falls short. My second first impression with this model is I feel like this model is a reach. I feel like the shoe kind of like in the whole lineup of NOBULL training shoes doesn't really have a place regarding its like actual functionality. Like to call it a more versatile training shoe for daily wear and training, I think is a reach, to be quite honest. There are shoes that I would reach for in a heartbeat over this. For example, the Haze Trainer, the Rad 1, both of those models work a lot better in the gym and they honestly look better for daily wear. And that said, like I do wear my NOBULL high top trainers and some of my NOBULL just OG trainers for daily wear because I like how easy they are to clean. They're very consistent and I know I can go hard in them in the gym. This is kind of a model where it's like, it's not really that comfortable for daily wear and it also doesn't do that well in the gym. So I feel like it just doesn't really have a purpose regarding its cost in the whole NOBULL shoe lineup. My third first impression with the shoe is the stack height of it's kind of funny because with this model, they're kind of like marketing as like this versatile, flexible feel. Like the shoe has a pretty thick, platformy kind of vibe to it. I'm not a big fan of that. Takes away from the ground feel of this shoe. And honestly, it just kind of looks very ugly. And so when you look at how low profile this upper is, the stack height of the shoe is literally higher than the toe box upper. So that's also why the shoe feels wicked limiting regarding its width. My fourth first impression with this model, and I touched on this at point 1, is just the overall fit. I think it's a total miss. So if we look at like a traditional NOBULL Trainer Plus here, you can see that one of these models is not like the other. The Rec Trainer over here has a more tapered toe box than the NOBULL Trainer Plus. And now NOBULL shoes are not necessarily the widest in the game or known for being excessively wide, but it's just funny because the Rec Trainer I feel like has made a more narrow stance or a bias to its toe box, whereas a lot of training shoes are starting to get wider, which a lot of folks have loved. So I think maybe if you have narrow feet and a low profile foot at that, that is where this shoe will work. And in my written review, I do stress that point where I'm like, if you have a narrow foot and a very low profile foot, and that's where you ask for your fit, then this shoe will work. But I think for most fit anatomies, I would say the fit of the NOBULL Rec Trainer is a total miss. My fifth first impression with this shoe is I'm not convinced that the durability of this model is going to be super great. So with this shoe, I've worn it over the last couple of weeks in New York City, just walking out and about. I've worn them for traveling, I've worn them for some gym sessions, and my outsole is already starting to fray. So as opposed to having a rubber outsole that you get with the traditional NOBULL trainers, this model has this herringbone tread patterning, but this is like a high-grade EVA foam. So this whole bottom outsole here is a foam material. And so the issue with foam materials on outsoles is that they can break down faster than rubber outsoles, especially if you're using them on concrete and it's like hot outside and you're having a lot of friction. So that's kind of a concern here. And that's also why we're circling back to number 2. I feel like the shoe just doesn't kind of know what its like intent is, because if you want a shoe to be good for daily wear and gym use, I feel like you should have an outsole that's a little bit more durable. So I'm curious how folks are going to perceive this shoe's outsole durability long term, because honestly, I don't think I can wear this shoe for much longer because it's just so uncomfortable. And I just cannot really get behind their construction and their overall price point. Honestly, this has been one of the few shoes that I've really regretted spending money on. So this is not my favorite purchase to date, just putting it out there. Now, when it comes to sizing in this shoe, if you have a narrow foot width, go true to size, but everyone else, I would say go up a half size at least. So if you have a narrow foot width and you want a little bit more room in your toe box, up a half size. If you have a medium foot width, up a half size. If you have a wide foot, just cut your feet off now and don't even buy this shoe, because it is not worth it, I promise you. But that all said, this is probably one of my harshest shoe reviews or shoe videos to date. The NOBULL Rec Trainer, I feel like, is a total miss. It just feels like a reach when it comes to its construction and what it's designed to do. And to charge $130 USD for this model, I'm not super stoked on it, and I'm curious how others are gonna like this shoe overall, especially as more folks invest in this model and test them out. But if you have additional questions on the Rec Trainer, drop a comment down below or reach out to me personally, whichever you prefer. And to all my friends who do follow the channel, I did finish my half sleeve nearly last night, so pretty stoked on that. I will have a video coming out very soon talking about life and my training breakdown and covering some other tidbits, so I will cover this and like kind of give it more of a glance then when it heals up a little bit more. But that all said, y'all, I will see you in the next one. Drop a like on the video, drop a subscribe to the channel. See ya.